All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our session number 16 of this EU Funds Week, celebrating our 5th anniversary here in Curacao. The EU Desk Curacao is celebrating, and we are happy to have this session where we will exchange with Mr. Edison Rijna, Special Envoy for the Best Islands, Bonaire, Saint Eustatius, and Ceiba, and also Bianca Peters, representing the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Ministerie van Binnenlandse Zaken, also in the cabinet of the Special Envoy, together with the colleagues of the EU Desk Curacao. We are welcoming you this afternoon. While people are joining us online, we will start the conversation that will give us more insight on your role as Special Envoys, Mr. Rijna, and also the work that you're doing in the Best Islands. But particularly, we are talking about diaspora, and the theme of the whole EU Funds Week is Diaspora Dynamics, Empowering Curaçao's Future through Knowledge Transfer. And it is very interesting to have this conversation with you before delving into the needs for skills in the Dutch Caribbean, with emphasis on Bonaire, but also, of course, the other islands. I think it's very particular because I consider you a diaspora from Curacao. You don't need to be born in Curacao to be a diaspora, but tell us why. I think you can also say that you're a diaspora from Curacao.
Thank you, Vanessa. First of all, congratulations. 5-year EU desk in Curacao, and I wish you all lots of happiness and productive cooperation with us from Bonaire. And you can count on us in every sense in this matter. Today, before I go to the presentation, yes, I'm a diaspora from Bonaire. I was born and raised here, and I lived a lot, like 20 years in Curacao, which I contribute to the island of Curacao where my kids were born. And I really like it over there. And so in a sense, I moved to the other island nearby, but still a son of soil, like they say. Bonaire, Curacao, Aruba. I'm a Dylan guy. And in that sense, I'm here, happy to help. And when I was studying in the Netherlands, this diaspora was also back then even active and also valid. We used to have the carrière oriëntatiedagen and the career orientation days, if you can translate it quickly. And those were the organizations that pulled me back from the Netherlands to come to Curacao in the early 2000s. So that's you're right. This diaspora experience, I also had it, and I'm happy to be back, and maybe we can exchange more later during the presentation on this matter.
Wonderful. Yes, I consider you a diaspora for Curacao because, as I said, you don't have to be born on the island, but you have a link with the island. You live here, you work here, your children were born here, so there's a connection with the island. While you were living in Curacao, you were a diaspora from Bonaire, and that means that afterwards you went to live in Bonaire So now you are a diaspora from Curacao. But that's how we perceive it, and that's how we are dealing with it. So reason why I called you diaspora from Curacao.
Yes.
But let
No
us
problem.
hear more about your position, your work,
Yes.
and what is going on in the Best Islands at this
Yes.
moment.
Happy to do that. And if I'm not correct, the presentation should be.
Yeah, I'm going to share it right now.
Yeah, here it goes. Okay. We had especially a presentation that we've been giving throughout our tour, if you can call it like that, in Europe and the Netherlands, and on all the accent Dutch Antilles Islands, Nederlandse Antillen. And it's about explaining my job, my new function that I've been in since April 18th of this year. After 9 years, 9 months and 21, 9 years, 1 month and 21 days of being governor of the island, I stepped into this new endeavor. And of course, it is with much ado that I want to help and assist all the 3 best islands in for the next sheet. I can continue in that. No, let me say this. The special envoy is here to develop the sustainable economic position of the Best Islands regarding the EU, United Nations, and the Latin America and Caribbean area when we talk to trade and economic development in the area. And the 3 pillars of my function are the EU, United Nations, and also, like I mentioned, the economic development in Latin America and Caribbean. For the EU, especially, we are focused on what we call the horizontal funds, which are besides the EDFs and the MIPS, what they call nowadays, we focus on those funds. In the United Nations, which consider us as developed islands, we only have participate in organizations of good practice. Bianca can give an example of what is the island network. Can you feel me there, Bianca? Oh, Bianca's not there.
Which one are you referring to? Local 2030 Islands Network?
Yes. That one, yes. And last but not least, the economic development and trade development within the islands with the Latin America and the Caribbean. In that area, we used to experience that the best islands were not always part of trade missions in the area when this used to take place in the past. And now we are more than present. We also have the possibility to initiate trade missions for the kingdom. So in that way, we are more positioned now in the area of trade with the Dutch Caribbean and the Latin America. I saw that the presentation just vanished.
Yes, Bianca fell off, but she is back. She's back. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
just in time for the next sheet.
Yes.
For the next sheet. Okay, that's perfect. Let me share again.
Yes. The next one. Okay. The special envoy focus on these 5 areas, and it's based also on the focus of the areas also mentioned by the European Union, like the Green Deal from the former Commissioner, Mr. Timmermans, and the Global Gateway, to name 2 of them. And you can see, like, the first one is the climate change that we're experiencing currently in the world, that we focus on those parts. Connectivity, we can mention by sea, by air, and also digital for persons and also cargo. Number 3, food security. Instead of importing, we are trying to make the focus on people to grow their own food. And of course, the 4th, sustainable energy sources. maybe of the island, the 30 islands for 2030, where the best island just become part of, to be full sustainable energy by the year 2030 with sustainable, with the sponsor and cooperation of the European Union. And of course, all of these four themes, if they are executed, we have a diversification of our economy, which currently is mostly based for almost 90% on tourism, and it is diversification which can give other sectors like agriculture, transport, like things like that, a diversification for our economy. Next slide, please. As a Envoy, we focus, of course, first of all, on our Dutch Caribbean islands. The best islands are looking forward to improve the trade and also economic development within the former Netherlands Antilles Islands, Aruba, Curacao, and also St. Martin. Thinking outside of this area, we look at 6 other countries and also islands, being Trinidad and Tobago, Colombia, Suriname, USA, in this case Florida, Panama, and also the Dominican Republic. Maybe a question that we get a lot is why not Venezuela? For this moment, Venezuela is only on our radar, looking, and we look at developments going on in the country of Venezuela to see if and when the opportunity is there for us to also to open or to be more in trade and economic development with this country. So for now, these are the 6 countries and islands which we want to focus on, besides the 6 islands of the former Netherlands Antilles. And that was the last sheet. And if we put this in consideration, and also in the way with the diaspora we started this, Vanessa, what we experienced in Bonaire, and not only Bonaire, on the other best islands, is an exponential growth of the island in the recent years. And you see that a lot of executive power is missing at the moment on the islands. What we also experienced that you can say that, as I mentioned, that I'm here to focus on the fundings for the European Union, but most of the time, funding is not an issue. It is the executive power, the executing power of this island that is the bottleneck which these islands cannot develop accordingly. In my period as government, we had several years in Bonaire that there was a budget surplus at the end of the year because we simply didn't have enough execution to use up our budget. So the diaspora in this sense is very, very important to bring back our people, bring back our young students or young professionals who finished their study or are already working in the Netherlands back to the islands, and not only for the EU programs, but also in general. And we experience this, that some of the islands, you know, in Bonaire, we have a couple of examples already of these initiatives. On Saba and Statia, it's now a wish that the executive councils of the island have to institute such an organization to bring back their young professionals to contribute. And as a special envoy, we experienced it last visit in Saba, that people, they need more people to help execute in order of the European Union programs and projects that are now currently being developed there. So it is utmost important that we motivate, that we keep our young professionals, our students in Holland in contact in order to bring them back to the island and to help contribute. Definitely now in this period that the islands are growing and need their support in this. So that's the the coordination that or the what I can tell about the combination of diaspora and my function as new special envoy for the EU on this matter. And Bianca, feel free to fill me on the
Yeah, no,
any other to add.
yeah, no, totally agree. I think this is something very important, especially because, you know, looking at the EU possibilities and also the UN possibilities, we know that it is quite heavy to send in those requests, and all the support that we can get, of course, from the bright minds living abroad and want to contribute to the island or islands would be very, very helpful, of course. And I think the beauty of this is that even though we are 6 different islands within one kingdom, it would be very great if we can see that we can create a network where we can tap into the different skills of people depending on the EU funding requests that we want to send out. Because, you know, not everybody, of course, has the same skills. And if we can make it a real network where we can really request specific needs or skills that we need in order to facilitate these processes, I think that would help us a lot. And looking at Bonaire, for example, there are 2 very interesting programs to mention. The first one is called YEP. It's a program where young entrepreneurs actually from the Netherlands connect with the island of Bonaire. It's being carried by the government of Bonaire together with We Connect in the Netherlands. And yeah, people can find more info about it via the website yepprogram.info. That's YEPROGRAM.info. And another example is, for example, the top program, also coordinated by Reconnect, where and the Ministry of Internal Affairs in this case for Bonaire, where people from the living in the Netherlands or abroad want to contribute to Bonaire, and that's a very beautiful program, and they specifically work within the government of Bonaire or Rijksdienst Caribisch Nederland. And such an example of this program is actually Micheline Petmore. She's working for the international desk of Bonaire. She is from Curacao, but decided to work for the government of Bonaire. And such a program like the top program really facilitates bringing back the bright minds to the islands. So I think if we can look into these projects, and I know that there are more on the different islands, also of course on Curacao, Aruba, and see how we can connect more with each other to facilitate the processes that we are all going through, I think that would be very valuable for all of us.
I'm sure that is something wonderful to do. And the fact that our diaspora, which is established in the Netherlands, they have access to a lot of information that is present in the Netherlands. So that's why we decided to engage with our diaspora to give them information about the possibilities through the EU, and then have them also involved, and they can also bring back programs and funding for programs and projects that they can do over there and also replicate to the island. So that's the reason why it's very important to build this community of diaspora, but also create this knowledge sharing culture within our kingdom, especially among the islands in the kingdom, in the Caribbean, so we can empower ourselves and also stimulate more progress and development on the island. So that's why it is important to work together. It is important to share information with each other. It is important to support each other. And we have a lot of diaspora in Bonaire. working and supporting and helping to build Bonaire. And it's something traditional within the Kingdom of the Netherlands, especially amongst the islands, especially the ABC Islands, where we travel and live and establish ourselves on the islands because of opportunities that are available and possibilities that we see. And that is something that we need to continue to stimulate, but also to find a way to support each other, but at the same time help each other grow, help each other, and not compete but grow. And that's something that we need to continue to embrace and cultivate in this sense. So that's the reason why we found it important to also invite you, because we have a lot of similarities in the work that we do, but we also collaborate a lot. And that collaboration is something that we appreciate very, very much. So is there something specific that the government of Bonaire or you as Envoy is going to do to capture the attention of the diaspora and inform them about the developments in the best islands and make sure that they find a way back to support?
Yes, definitely. Bianca already mentioned two examples, the top trainee program and also the YEP program.
Yes.
And maybe it's got noticed a couple of weeks ago, the Tourist Corporation Bonaire, Tourism Corporation Board of Bonaire had a program in Europe where they invited Bonaire students to participate, and in order to get more acquainted with the tourism sector and tourism industry, so they can come back and contribute. So that's one of the other examples, and that the government, because the TCB is also part of the government, is creating and initiating now in order to bring back our diaspora, our students, our young professionals to help in this area with all developments that are going on right now. And I would like to go back to one word that you mentioned, Vanessa, which is very important. You said that we don't have to compete, but I just would like to add one letter. We have to complete each other, you know. Yes, we have to complete each other. Historically, we have been together as the ABC Islands. The Leeward Islands has a historical connection with each other, and the same is valid for the Windward Islands with the Sable Station in St. Martin. We have historical ties and economic ties that goes back to the early days of the history, and with the 10-10-10 new structure that came in for government, this became a little what it used to be. In that sense, we have to go over those boundaries and be the islands that we used to be, working together and contribute together, because we are three small islands that we cannot compete each other. You know, we're too small to compete with each other. So if we complete, then we can put our value, our strategic value as Dutch islands in these areas for the kingdom of the Netherlands. And in that sense, everybody benefits, because if we go as one island, no island will benefit. If we go together, if we complete each other, then we will benefit, and with the respect to each other, and so in exchange with all the possibilities that will arise of this cooperation in the future. So I look forward to, and then another example that Bianca gave, one of your diasporas is working now in the international desk of Bonaire, but that experience that she is now getting now is one day maybe she can transport it or go over to Curacao or maybe Aruba. I don't know. We have to get together. And in my experience with the European Union, they like the collectivity of things. You know, if we go as one, not as an island, but as the Dutch islands, then our chances are much more bigger to be successful in whatever claim, whatever we approach these institutions with. So my message would be, again, use the diaspora to bring back our young professionals, and not only from Holland, but I see also from the Windward Islands, we notice that a lot of those students are in the United States. Bring them back and have them help their islands in order so we can be together as one group of Dutch Caribbean islands, making the strategic value that we do have as a group for the Kingdom of the Netherlands.
Nice. During the whole week, we have engaged with diaspora in several areas of knowledge and experience and expertise. For example, the IT sector, the creative sector, we had in health, sports, and wellness during this morning session. And tomorrow we will engage with some in more politics and governance structures. Yeah. We have people all over the spectrum of development, and I think it was an eye-opening to see how much of our people are involved and doing things and becoming pioneers in certain things and get recognition for what they have done. And that has inspired a lot of people during the course of the week, and plenty of new ideas and projects have emerged that we can find a way to get support in the form of funding, but also in the form of projects or projects that maybe have been executed somewhere in Europe, and the material and information is available for us to get and also implement and educate. So a lot of things happen. So I'm sure that we will be in touch. We will continue to be in touch to see how we can collaborate and see what we can do together to get this information, this knowledge, these projects that have been successful and tested in other territories, to also do that on the islands. As small as we are, if we collaborate, work together, we can indeed achieve a lot more than going by ourselves.
Yes.
So, you mentioned the projects and areas of work that are taking place in Bonaire, and I'm sure Seba and St. Eustatius also have their own challenges, but also the opportunities that they identify. So, are you regularly in touch with Seba and St. Eustatius? Can you give us some insights of what is going on those islands?
Yes, of course. Since we started in April, we visited all 6 islands, and between April and now, I think we were there like twice this period. And there's a lot of contact through the internet, through the digital communication portals. We met also in The Hague a couple of times. So there's plenty of communication and cooperation going on between the islands. What we see in the Windward Islands are that they want to develop their tourism, which is compared to not their neighbor island like St. Martin, which is already a big tourist island. But Seba and Stasia, they want to develop their tourism. They want to redevelop their trade, which used to have between the islands. Like St. Eustatius used to be a goat meat exporter, and that became almost extinct since the 10-10-10 barriers for taxes and export fees were imposed. So those are the challenges that these islands present, that we can try to help them, not only through the fundings, but also through I don't want to call it lobby, but a kind of work that we do also in Dutch ministries, telling the challenges these islands have, and in that sense helping them as well in developing their respective area of art tourism, or is it the trade that they want to develop. So these islands, they know what they want, and they have their own goals, in which we try to help and achieve those.
Right. And so to conclude, because I learned that you need to leave in a few minutes to be in a different setting. But to conclude, what strategies or priorities you think can be put in place to ensure that there is an inclusive approach to skills development in the Dutch Caribbean, and especially on the Best Islands?
Okay, if we take the topic of diaspora, I'm a very practical person. In that sense, we have been approached already by 2 Dutch Caribbean students who would like to get in contact with us in order to get more information, and the other one was to make their traineeship in our department, and that's a practical and a achievement right away for the diaspora to get notice of the possibilities on the island. On the other hand, we encourage all 3 islands of the Best. We have been in contact with them a lot to get more of these kind of initiatives for these people to get back to their island, and we support these endeavors, and we would like to support them as much as we can by providing not only funds but also possibilities for these youngsters to come and to see what's going on their island, and in order to help. So practically, that's what I see that we want as the Envoy, cabinet of the Envoy, to initiate in order to attract those interesting in coming back, and to look what the possibilities are for their future, and also the future of their islands with their cooperation.
No, wonderful. So I think there are many things that can be done to interest and attract our diaspora to support. They can support by investing, they can support by sharing knowledge, they can support by working, going back and find a job and work and build their families there. We see a lot of interest from our diaspora to invest back in the countries. So we have a few examples here, and we show them during the week as well. We also have this program, which is Diaspora for Business, which is a very practical way to engage with the diaspora and interest them in the developments on the island. So I hope in the Best Islands you can also be successful in attracting the people back to the islands, to support the development of the islands, and also stimulate our youngsters to study in the areas that are needed in the future, so a job is guaranteed when they finish their
right, Vanessa. Give them perspective
exactly
to what's going on and what can be expected in the future. And I can give a last example. We here in Bonaire have the project of Galileo. Galileo is of the European Space Agencies. We're opening a station here in Bonaire. Who could have thought in the past that you could study as a Bonairean space program, space studies, and come and work on your island? I mean, this satellite program, Galileo, is on the island of Bonaire. So if you're a Bonairean and would like to study rocket science, which is not but satellite science, you can dream that, and you can make it real when this station from the European Space Agencies will be operational on the island. So possibilities are there, and we would like to present them and show our young professionals and students what the possibilities and perspectives in the future are for them to come back.
Wonderful. So Edison, Bianca, I think you need to rush to another session. So you told us that you can only be here till 10 minutes to 4.
Yes.
So I would like to thank you. It was great to have this chat with you. We will
Yes.
keep in touch for further, projects and anything else that come our way. If
Yep.
there is anything that is going on, let us know and we will do the same. Thanks for accepting the invitation and for joining us for a few
Thanks for having us.
minutes.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you
And
for having
once,
us.
once again, congratulations. And keep up the good
Thank
work.
you. Thank you very
Yes,
much. Thank you
absolutely.
very much. Awesome. So, people, thank you for your attention. I would like to also cordially invite you for tomorrow. We will have our last day, day 5 of our EU Funds Week. Tomorrow, we will have a very interesting program starting with politics and public administration, where we will have Mr. Kenville Kleinmoedig, we will have Gilberto Morishaw, and also later on we will talk with Tanya Fry from WeConnect, also what Bianca and Edison mentioned about their projects, and we will have Lionel Martin, and he is also from the organization in the Netherlands. We will also have a session on bridging the gap, how to create a bridge to connect Curaçao's diaspora, with Gabriela de Freitas. And we will have our final session with Armin Wilson, which is very much into nautical programs in the Netherlands and how we can transfer that to the islands. So we will continue to inform you about the program. We'll send the links, so it's easier for you to hop on and follow and join. The sessions will be posted on social media, so you can watch them back and maybe use them for information. Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon. See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye-bye,
very
everybody.
much and good luck with the rest of the week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.